Hello everyone, my name is Rade Bogavac. I'm the CEO of Travel Twitch, a travel agency based in Montenegro, and run all my operations here from US. My partner on this project is CYO Air, port agent from Boka Kotorska, called Boka Bay. And the two of us together, we cover all needed services for everybody who comes to Montenegro, whether they are travelers or they come by their vessels. Has anybody been to Montenegro? Do you know where Montenegro is? Okay, I see minority, so that makes my presence justified. I will explain you where Montenegro is. Now you can see the map over there. It's located on the Adriatic Sea, so just next to Croatia and between Croatia and Albania across the Italian boot. Montenegro is a tiny country. It's size of Connecticut. And the entire terrain of Montenegro consists from mountains. So like, imagine looking at the mountains that just dive into sea, and that moment is the coast. And that's how Montenegro looks like. And that's how I'm going to present Montenegro, because this coastline, which takes only 20% of the entire terrain, represents modern and contemporary Montenegro, while the mountainous area still holds the authentic and traditional values that Montenegro has. In the background, you'll be able to see even my partner, because this is a video presentation, and she'll be also on a video while some other notes from this presentation will be placed. So the coast of Montenegro, that's where I'm going to start from, because that's probably what interests you more, is 186 miles long. It's short and spectacular. It has many old towns just placed all around it, medieval old towns that are quite old, some even 1,500 years. They have this Renaissance architecture. There are a lot of vineyards, olive groves, and all of that represents the Mediterranean lifestyle, that tranquility, and that is what represents the coast of Montenegro. Now, the highlight of the coast is the Bay of Boka. Bay of Boka is a bay that goes inland 12 miles, and it consists from 4 smaller bays, and all these bays have ports. So there are a total of 7 ports in Montenegro. 6 of them are commercial, let's say luxurious. So what happened? In 2006, Montenegro became independent, and this is the Bay of Boka, as you can see. You have inside how it all looks like. That's the entrance, and those are the 4 smaller bays within the Bay of Boka. That's my partner. So in 2006, Montenegro became independent, and government realized that the travel industry is what makes most of the GDP. So with efforts of individuals and the government, there was a strong influx of capital and investments that turned one of those bays, a town in one of those bays, into a luxury port. So there are a lot of harbor towns and old shipyards. So what happened, a Canadian investor, Peter Monk, in 2007 invested 300 million in one of these bays, turning Tivat, or initially called, and today called, Porto Montenegro, into a luxury port. So it wasn't just a luxury port. Let's say they have birds and that's it. So they had 5-star hotel, villas, apartments, spas, beach, hotels, smaller hotels, other types of resorts that were included. So that all was like a secluded part within a town. And that was the first template, because we call it a template, because additionally there were 3 more luxurious ports built in Montenegro. Now, Porto Montenegro, being the oldest one, hosts super yachts, and they have 450 berths that can host yachts up to 600 feet long. So that's regarding Porto Montenegro. I will tell a little bit more about other locations within the bay once the other part of the video starts. And now, having all these bigger brands within the bay, that started attracting a lot of tourists, a lot of people, a lot of investment, and it all grew, and it grew today to be the destination for the Mediterranean yachting industry. Now, the best way to explore Montenegrin coast would be through an itinerary, and the itinerary is based to visit all these nautical settlements within the bay, and the bays and luxury ports that are located outside of the bay, the part of the coast that faces Italy. So in the first couple of days, you would be visiting Porto Novi, that's the most recent one, and one of the brands that attracts people is One and Only Hotel. The first one and only hotel built in Europe is built in Montenegro. Second luxurious bay called Luštica Bay will have Ritz-Carlton built within the next 5 to 6 years. And with Porto Montenegro, we call them the three big ones. They present the first stop of the itinerary that will be used to explore Montenegro. CBioAir, the company that's in a partnership with Travel Twitch, provides all the necessary services and provides the itinerary that would give you a bigger picture of how Montenegro looks like. Of course, I can say that you will be visiting just the nautical settlements. There are many other highlights that you would visit during your stay in Montenegro. On the coast itself and in the bay, there are church islands, there are many shattered islands all around, submarine tunnels, caves, hidden caves. So there's so much content, and I'm just talking about the highlights that are connected to the coast that would be explored to the itinerary. Having said that, all of those luxury ports and settlements today, they have their own content. Let's say they have fashion shows, music concerts. Porto Novi is going to host supercars that are on a route through the entire Europe in a couple of days. They have regattas, they have sailing competition, and each of these nautical settlements, as we call them, has its own signature event. This all takes place for 7 months of the year. Why? Because the coast of Montenegro has these mild winters and warm summers, so it's a perfect place to be spending your time during most of the year. And that's what's sold, and you can see this is introduction of a couple of these ports, and this will be followed by a video where I'll tell you a couple of details about each of the ports, about the luxury settlements that are located inside the bay. Why I say nautical settlements? Because Croatia doesn't have nautical settlements, and you know all about it. So this is a vision that was introduced in Montenegro 15 years ago and has lived up, and it continues to live, because we sell what Montenegro sells is lifestyle. This is the first one built, called Porto Montenegro. Has Regent Hotel, 5-star hotel that keeps expanding, and these are some of the activities that you can enjoy during your stay at that nautical settlement. These are all the villas that are placed within and in the surroundings of the hotel and inside that nautical settlement itself. The next one is Luštica Bay. This bay faces the coast of Italy, so it's not inside. What you've seen in the beginning of the presentation was just the Bay of Kotor and its highlights, but this is outside and it faces Italy. It's a different concept. It also has this Mediterranean architecture, but it's a little bit different. This is one of the Amman resorts, and this is Niki Beach. Has recently started have built their own complex in Montenegro. In the center of it, in the center of the Bay of Kotor, and they are also an addition to the itinerary that can be on part of the itinerary of the coastal trip through Montenegro. And last but not the least, this is called Dakli. It's a hotel and resort. As you can see, that's the marina, and that's their luxury resort that looks at the old town of Budva. And that will be the last point of your itinerary. And I mentioned the itinerary because that's the best way to get to know Montenegro. So this will be your last point on the trip that will give you a complete sense of how the Montenegrin coast looks like. So I was talking about the coast. Now I'm going to get back to the mountains, which actually present what Montenegro really is. So all these coastal areas are connected with the north and center part of Montenegro with short, you have short transfer times that will take you from the coast to the north. And the authentic and traditional Montenegro is just so close to you. Like how I like to explain to people, how I like to present it, all these ports that you've seen, let's say Porto Montenegro that I mentioned at the beginning, is connected with sightseeing point that's placed on 3,000 feet of altitude within just 45 minutes of drive. So you drive from that port, you arrive with your yacht, you come to Montenegro, you drive off, you're looking at the marvelous bay of Kotor, which resembles these Norwegian bays, and then you drive further, let's say 10 minutes, and you enter this old rural village that represents Montenegrin culture and history. You sit with this old grandma who has this 100-year-old smile, puts a bottle of rakia, that's rakia, some of you have tried it on your tables, tells you, slices of prosciutto, that's also on your tables, which has come from the smokehouse that she has within her house, and she tells you a story that's probably older than you, and that's the value that Montenegro brings, and that the true Montenegro, what I say, the soul of Montenegro is. Having said that, there are many other highlights of Montenegro. In the back country, we have the second deepest canyon. We have many outdoor activities. There's canyoning, which is becoming like the top activity in Montenegro. You have the white water river rafting. There's so much to do on a small compact area that like in 3 days you can change so many activities. And like the best way to explain how small Montenegro, and here comes the video that will make a summary of everything I said. So what I like to say and point out always that Montenegro still has that special value that brings out, and we have now come to the end of my presentation. I hope I managed in a short while to present you Montenegro. Here are the partners that have shared the video materials with us, because we didn't have like too much time to prepare for this event. It came quite late in our schedules. So thank you for your attention. I hope I brought Montenegro closer to you. I'll be at the table day if you need any more information for me regarding Montenegro and all the everything we can provide for you, and we can provide everything. Thank you. Yes. Oh yeah, it was on a video of Nikki Beach when it started, you know, the woman with the trumpets. That was overlooking the Amman Resort St. Stefan. That's where I proposed her. I met her during a hiking trip, because I've been for a decade already in travel, and I've like changed many roles. So I met my wife during a hiking trip in Montenegro, and like we had a spark over there that continued throughout the entire Europe. We had many trips, and then today we have a boy of 4 months old, and we live in Boston. So I hope you enjoyed, and I would talk even more, but if I start talking, it'll be for hours. For some of you, I managed to provide some prosciutto and cheese that's on your tables with the flags of Montenegro, and some of the rakia that's actually imported by Croatia, but you can have the same one in Montenegro. So it was nice meeting all of you people. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.